The docking bay of the ISS Zenith Prime hummed with the controlled chaos of 100 different species preparing for departure. Leo stepped off the transport shuttle, his regulation boots clicking against the polished titanium floor. At 23, he was the youngest human ever admitted to the Galactic Defense Coalition's officer training program, a fact that filled him with equal parts pride and terror. Beside him, Bella lumbered forward, her massive form drawing stares from every direction. "Stay close," Leo murmured, though he knew the instruction was unnecessary. Bella had been at his side since she was a cub, rescued from the ruins of Earth's Canadian wilderness after the devastation. Now fully grown, she stood nearly 3 meters tall when reared on her hind legs, her brown fur rippling with muscle beneath the specially designed combat harness that interfaced with her neural implant. A Vraxian officer, tall, crystalline, with faceted eyes that refracted the station's light into rainbow patterns, stopped mid-stride to gawk. "By the ancients," the being whispered, "is that a Terran apex predator?" Leo offered a polite nod. "Grizzly bear, her name's Bella." Before the Vraxian could respond, a booming voice echoed across the bay. "Attention!" The crowd parted like water before a ship's bow. Captain Zexther strode forward, his 4 arms clasped behind his segmented back, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming purple-black under the fluorescent lights. The Creche commander stood nearly 4 meters tall, his species renowned throughout the galaxy as the finest military strategists and most fearsome warriors. 2 of his compound eyes focused on Leo, while the others scanned the surrounding area with predatory precision. "You must be the human whelp," Zexther said, his translator rendering his clicking mandibles into harsh, clipped standard. "Cadet Leo Martinez, I've read your file. Mediocre marks in stellar navigation, barely adequate scores in tactical theory. The Coalition must be desperate indeed to accept such unimpressive specimens." Leo's jaw tightened, but he maintained his composure. "Sir, I scored in the top 15% of my class in." "Silence." Zexther's primary eyes narrowed. "I did not grant you permission to speak. You humans are all the same, arrogant, soft, assuming your brief and unremarkable history grants you equality with species who conquered the stars while your ancestors were still learning to make fire." A low rumble emanated from Bella's chest, not quite a growl but a warning. Leo placed a hand on her shoulder, feeling the tension in her muscles. Zexther's attention snapped to the bear, and something like amusement flickered across his alien features. "And this is your idea of a combat partner, a primitive beast barely modified with outdated neural technology." He leaned closer, his breath smelling of ammonia and copper. "In my clutch cycles of service, I have seen countless species attempt to elevate their savage wildlife to military status. They all fail. Animals lack the cognitive complexity for true warfare. They panic. They break. Bella moved faster than something her size had any right to. One moment she was standing beside Leo. The next, she had reared to her full height, her shadow engulfing the Creche captain. Her jaws opened, revealing teeth like ivory daggers, and the growl that erupted from her throat was primordial, a sound that had terrified prey species for millions of years of evolution. But it wasn't the threat display that made Zexther's posture stiffen. It was the words that followed. "He's my master." The voice was rough, barely comprehensible through the vocal synthesizer implanted in Bella's throat. The words came slowly, each syllable a struggle against biology never meant for language, but they were unmistakable, clear, deliberate. The docking bay fell absolutely silent. Zexther took a step backward, his exoskeleton plates rattling, a Creche expression of shock. "It speaks." "She," Leo corrected firmly, his hand still resting on Bella's shoulder. "She speaks, and she understands far more than you assume, Captain." Bella dropped back to all fours but maintained eye contact with Zexther, her lips curled, exposing her canines. "Respect him." The crowd that had gathered whispered in a dozen different languages. Leo could feel their eyes, biological, cybernetic, photosensitive, all fixed on them. First contact protocols were specific about uplifted animals. Neural implants could enhance intelligence, grant limited communication, improve tactical response. But true language, true understanding of abstract concepts like loyalty, respect, hierarchy, that was supposed to be impossible. Zexthar circled them slowly, his warrior's instincts overriding his shock. Impossible. The neural technology available to humans is 3 generations behind Coalition standard. You cannot have achieved full linguistic integration with a non-sentient species. With respect, sir, Leo said carefully, you're making the same mistake everyone does. You assume human technology is inferior because we're newcomers to the galactic stage. But we've been modifying ourselves and our companion species for centuries. While you were perfecting energy weapons, we were perfecting genetic engineering. While you built better ships, we built better partnerships. He gestured to Bella, who sat now with the patience of a mountain. Bella isn't just enhanced, she's my partner. We've trained together since I was 15. Her neural implant doesn't just translate her thoughts, it expands them. She understands tactics, reads sensor displays, processes threat assessments faster than most organic brains. Demonstrate, Zexthar demanded, his tone still skeptical but curious now. Leo pulled up his wrist display, projecting a holographic tactical scenario into the air, a standard coalition training exercise involving a disabled frigate and incoming hostile forces. Bella, assessment. The bear studied the projection for exactly 4 seconds. Enemy, 3 ships. Her massive paw lifted, pointing with surprising precision. Here, weak, flank, shield, generator, exposed. She was right. It was the exact vulnerability that took most cadets 15 minutes to identify. Formation recommendation, Leo prompted. Delta pattern, draw, fire, strike, fast. Bella's paw moved through the hologram indicating positions. Win, quick. Zexthar's mandibles clicked rapidly, the Kresh equivalent of deep thought. He approached Bella directly and Leo tensed, ready to intervene. But the captain simply studied her with all 4 eyes. Your species was apex predators on your world, Zexthar said slowly. Before the devastation, before humanity's cities fell, you hunted in territories spanning hundreds of kilometers. You learned, adapted, survived. Yes, Bella confirmed. Strong, smart, protect family. And he is your family, it wasn't a question. Bella turned her massive head toward Leo, and despite everything, the technology, the training, the war, her eyes held the same warmth they'd had when she was a cub learning to fish in mountain streams. Brother, partner, pack. Something shifted in Zexthar's posture. His exoskeleton plates settled into a configuration Leo's coalition cultural training identified as respect. I have misjudged you, Cadet Martinez, and you, Bella. He pronounced her name carefully with unexpected gentleness. The Kresh have a saying, the captain continued. The strength of a warrior is measured not by their weapons but by those who fight beside them. I believed humans were weak because you came to the stars so recently, because your technology seemed primitive. But you have mastered something we Kresh never have, true partnership with other species. Not servitude, not mere enhancement, partnership. Leo allowed himself a small smile. We learned it from dogs, sir. 20,000 years ago they chose us. We chose them back. It's been the foundation of human civilization ever since. The idea that together we're stronger than alone. Zexthar extended one of his 4 arms in the Kresh gesture of alliance. Then I formally welcome you to the Zenith Prime, Cadet Martinez, and you as well, Combat Specialist Bella. I suspect I will learn much from you both. Bella made a sound that Leo recognized as her version of approval, a soft chuffing noise that vibrated through her chest. Good. Learn together, fight together, win together. As the crowd dispersed and normal operations resumed in the docking bay, Leo felt the weight of countless stares. But they were different now, not mocking but curious. Impressed, even. A young Vraxian officer approached hesitantly. "Excuse me, Cadet Martinez, I was wondering, how long does it take to form such a bond with a partner species?" Leo looked at Bella, remembering a scared 8-year-old boy in the wilderness, clutching an orphaned cub while the sky burned above them. Remembering years of training, of learning each other's signals, of growing up together in a world that demanded they both adapt or die. "A lifetime," he said simply. "It takes a lifetime." Bella nudged his hand with her massive head, and Leo scratched behind her ears, right where she'd always liked it, even before the implants, before the war, before everything changed. "Home," Bella said softly, the word rumbling through her synthesizer. "Together, home." And standing in the heart of a massive space station, surrounded by aliens and impossibility, Leo realized she was right. Home wasn't Earth anymore. Home wasn't a place. Home was wherever they stood together. Captain Zexther watched them from across the bay, his mandibles clicking in what might have been approval. Tomorrow, the real training would begin. Tomorrow, they would prove themselves not just to skeptical alien commanders, but to a galaxy that still didn't understand what humanity brought to the stars. But tonight, a boy and his bear had already won something far more important: respect. And in the vast, cold darkness of space, that was enough. End.